Welcome, I'm your host and go-to executive coach, Phyllis Reagin, and today I'm continuing on with my 6-part series on how to overcome imposter syndrome. This is part 4. If you missed any of the other episodes, I encourage you to go back and look at those. With each episode, I'm talking about a different way that imposter syndrome can impact you and a main strategy for each way that can really help you improve your imposter syndrome. So I would encourage you to go back and take a look at those. Today we're going to talk about how imposter syndrome impacts your ability or desire to advocate for yourself. So if you find this is a challenge for you, I say stay tuned because I'm going to go over a main strategy with a lot of key steps that can help you with this. As a reminder, imposter syndrome is characterized by feelings of self-doubt, despite your competencies, achievements, successes. It manifests in ways such as discounting your achievements, your successes, maybe you feel failure, or you attribute your successes to luck rather than your skill. One of the common consequences of having imposter syndrome is that you might find it really challenging to advocate for yourself. It could be that you fear being exposed as a fraud, not the right fit for the role, not the right person to do what you're doing. So you back down from speaking up, you don't assert your worth. You may find that you're not pursuing opportunities for advancement or to do something that's a goal of yours. Some examples for how not advocating for yourself shows up professionally is you may be silent in important meetings. You might fail to negotiate for promotions or role change, maybe salary increases, or you just don't apply yourself in your leadership role due to this lack of confidence and self-doubt. Personally, you can experience not advocating for yourself by really not expressing your needs or desires in your relationships. You might be settling for less than you know you actually deserve in terms of treatment or respect. And you might be hesitant to pursue opportunities for your own personal growth and fulfillment. One of my clients, I'm going to call her Kim, that's not her name. She is a director of marketing at a social media company. She came to coaching because she is experiencing imposter syndrome. And how she's experiencing is she just doesn't speak up for herself. She doesn't advocate for herself in front of senior leadership. She's really getting looked over. And she knows she needs to really step up and start advocating for herself. And what's interesting about Kim is that she has the qualifications, the achievements, the successes that really say she is the person to do what she's doing. She is the right person for the next promotion, but she really isn't integrating that into how she sees herself. So she needs not only to look at how she sees herself, her perspective, her mindset, but also what around her might be triggering her to think this way about herself. So here's where we started that really helped Kim unravel what was happening with her and to push past imposter syndrome. The first and main strategy for this was to cultivate her self-confidence and assertiveness. We started first with her recognizing her imposter syndrome patterns. And this is really important for you if you're experiencing imposter syndrome. You want to go back and look, when did I start feeling this way? Have I felt this way before? What are some of the common links between how I've experienced imposter syndrome before and how I'm experiencing it now? For Kim, she could see the link between when she was in graduate school and now, and there were some circumstances around it. How she was actually being treated, how she was recognized by others. And we really were able to delve into that and see what was true and not true between those links. And then to give her more empowering ways to really think about what happened in the past and how she wanted to manage it today. Then we really delved into her challenged her negative beliefs. Imposter syndrome is often supported by your negative beliefs. There is some narrative, some story that you started telling yourself about you, your worth, And it's creating now this story that it's hard for you to actually start to untangle. She asked herself some key questions that you may want to ask yourself. One was, when these negative beliefs showed up, she asked herself, what evidence supports the negative belief? When you pause and you do that, more times than not, you're going to see there's actually no evidence to support it. So now you know you have something that you can start challenging, and you can start reframing it with more positive and helpful and productive thoughts. She also asked herself, what are the potential consequences of not advocating for myself? It was important for her to see that she was leaning more on the relief that she got with not advocating for herself, but that really wasn't as beneficial as taking the risk and what it would give her in her career. The next thing we worked on is for Kim to start practicing her assertive communication. And here's really where it started to change for her. We set it up where she could identify low, medium, and high risk situations. You want to do this because you don't want to just dive into more assertive communication in a high risk setting. You're going to feel overwhelmed, you don't have the capabilities to do it yet, and your brain is going to kick in and tell you you're going to really bomb at it, which you might do. Right? So you start off with low risk. Kim looked around and decided which people she considered low risk, which meetings were low risk, and she practiced her assertive communications during those settings. As she became more comfortable and she was better at it, she moved on to moderate risk settings. And then again, when she became more comfortable, she moved on to the high risk setting. This works because you now have proof that you can manage these kind of communications and messages. And you're also able to push back with the really current examples to yourself that you can manage it. So she went back to her high risk settings, which were these senior leadership conversations. And she now had not only the skill set, she had the confidence to drive these kinds of conversations. Well, that's what helped with Kim. You can try this for yourself. You can start really identifying what those different settings are. Look at your mindset. Think about the common links of how you're experiencing imposter syndrome now and before. And these are all the steps that are really going to help you to improve your own imposter syndrome. Well, thanks for joining me today. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, subscribe for more content like this. In part 5, I'm going to be discussing how imposter syndrome impacts you not wanting to get out of your comfort zone. I'll see you then.